Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. For today I will be drawing with a fountain pen that is coming from Monteverde, specifically as the title is saying, Innova Lightning. Pretty little thing. I do like the fountain pen. It looks actually quite gorgeous, and the look, it's actually what got me into buying it. The intro is a little bit longer than usual because the fountain pen came with a box, and as such, since I have it, I decided to actually show it before I get rid of it. Personally, I don't usually keep boxes because, they mean nothing to me, and even if I travel with the fountain pen, I would rather have something a little bit slimmer rather than this huge case to carry with me. If I would have had the options to go without the case, I would have gladly do that. One thing that I do like and I will be keeping, and it came with the fountain pen, it came paired with lightning ink, which seems to be some sort of a black-gray with a lot of, mica powder in it, which will make it a little bit more silvery. I will not be using the ink, or better said, this specific ink, for my drawing today because I don't know how it will behave on the paper that I'm using. Plus, as you've seen Wednesday, I just worked on the nib and the feed setup for this fountain pen to make sure everything works properly, and I wanted to give it a fair chance without using an ink that has fine particles in it, because I'm not sure how well it will behave, since in theory it is a more finer nib if you don't flex it. In case you haven't seen that video, this fountain pen comes with a Omniflex nib, one of my favorite nibs that Yovo makes, and one of the nibs that I would love to purchase more of at a discounted price if possible. Unfortunately, you can't really find it at good prices, but if you know a reseller that can get me these nibs for basically cheaper prices, I would gladly love to get some more of these. So drop me a comment or an email if you know somebody that can sell me these nibs for better prices than they actually sell for. As I was mentioning, the fountain pen, in my opinion, it's actually quite beautiful to look at. The paint job on it, it's well done, and I guess the thing that intrigues me the most about this model is that it actually has a wire braided, or a braided wire on the barrel itself, which is quite unique in a fountain pen. I don't know if there are other fountain pens out there that has a similar design with an actual wire on the body. The other thing that makes it even more cooler is the color pattern that it has. As you spin it, it creates a very nice effect that it's hard to look away from. It's quite hypnotic a little bit. The fountain pen in itself, it's actually very well built. I like it. All metal as far as I can tell, very few plastic bits, if any. And it has a little bit of carbon fiber on the cap at the base of the cap. This seems to be a limited edition model. My model is number 1231 out of 1999. And again, the model, it's Innova, but on the cap, for whatever reasons, it says Innova Formula M. I don't know if that's the actual full name of the fountain pen or not, but I'll be calling it Innova. One odd thing that I noticed with this fountain pen is when you remove the converter, which by the way is a twist converter, and you put it back, when you reach at the end, you have to make sure it's securely tighten in place, and as you starts to tighten it at the end, it actually starts to unscrew the nib unit, as you've seen me a little bit fumbling with it in there, and it caught me off guard. I didn't realize what happened. I thought I broke the pen, but no, it actually unscrewed the nib unit and I had to screw it back in properly. Other than that, I don't really see any issues with the fountain pen. It seems to be working very well. Balance in hand, unposted, it's pretty good actually. I like it, and I think for writing I will probably use it unposted. Posted is a little bit more top heavy, so if you have smaller hands you'll probably not like it as much, but it caps and posts very well with a very secure click. I'll try and capture it on camera, or better said on the mic, see if I can actually give you an idea. I actually think that the capping mechanism is so tight that it splashes ink droplets, very tiny ink droplets here and there. Something that actually annoyed me during the drawing, and I'll give more details a little bit later on. So yeah, caps well, posts well. I like it. I like that braided wire that it has on it. There are a lot of things that I like it, which again, Monteverde tends to do some really nice, cool looking design fountain pens, but they usually have here and there some minuses. One of them was the nib. One of the things that you've seen me on past Wednesday, it's me setting up the nib and feet. On this actual model, the issue was not as pronounced as the other models that I have from them with the same nib setup, but still there was a little bit of a gap that I had to solve. And after I done that, and I widen a little bit deepen the channels on the feed a little bit, and heat set the nib and the feed, everything works actually pretty good. I had absolutely no issues. The nib is fairly juicy by itself. I didn't have to do any work on it. And as you've seen from the writing text, when I was flexing the nib, no skips at all, which I was quite surprised. I was going fairly fast when I was doing that, and the nib and feed had no issue keeping up with my hand, which I like. Definitely a success on that regard. Writing wise, like I said, fairly wet. I wish the nib would be a little bit thinner than that. I'm thinking to make it thinner than that, but unfortunately I don't have the necessarily tools to do a quick job on that, so I might leave it for another time. But nibs like this, I wish they would be more like a 0.3 millimeters with even needle size. It would be very nice to see these Omniflex nibs in needle size, especially for drawing. Speaking of drawing, I sort of had a plan today. I'm not 100% happy with the drawing. I think it feels like something is missing in it. I'm not 100% sure exactly what is missing, but like the overall composition feels, I don't know, balanced, but something is missing, or maybe something is too much in it. One of them. I did had an idea, like I was mentioning, sort of an idea of a shape. It was just that, a shape is the shape that I started with, or the outline that I started with from top to bottom, and that was where the idea ended. And then I just started to do filling portions of the drawing, as I usually do, and try and build some nice, interesting textures within this, I guess, creature. And it was fun. I was captivated again by the process of the small details, and maybe when I step back and look at the whole thing, I wasn't very happy with what I end up with. I think I need to step out of it a little bit more and just look at it, but it's kind of hard. A lot of times I'm in the zone, I'm listening to the music, and I just dive into the details, and unfortunately sometimes I might not end up with what I want. I'm wondering if by any chance the border that I put around the drawing might have ruined it a little bit. Maybe I did jump in a little bit too early and added the border of the drawing. I've been practicing a little bit on my traveling sketchbook to add some borders and create some tension, I guess you can call it, in my little sketches, and it worked in that sketchbook. I don't know why it didn't work here. Probably because I jumped way too quickly to make that border. Maybe I should have waited a little bit more to let it develop by itself again a little bit more before deciding on how I wanted to do the border, because it felt okay, maybe it is the border. In the end, it felt like I was constrained by the borders that I had added rather than use the borders to hopefully emphasize the drawing a little bit more. The other fault that obviously was on my side, because the drawing didn't draw itself, I have to draw it. Like I mentioned, I had this outline in my head, and the outline is exactly how I wanted it, at least how I envisioned it, and I liked the details at the edge. But it felt like as I was going away from that front outline towards the end of the drawing or the back of the drawing, I wasn't sure exactly how to shape this creature. All I knew is that it needs to meet the border, and I guess maybe choose the path of less resistance rather than create more interesting shapes into it. Oh, and yeah, like I was mentioning, I think this fountain pen spits a little bit of ink when you uncap it, because it's pretty tight in there and you have to put a little bit of force. And at one point in time, my cat started meowing, and I had to go and see what it is doing. And when I came back and pulled the cap, I noticed a black dot on the page, and I was like, what in the world is that? And I touched it, and I created like a very long smudge, and I was kind of ticked off. Fortunately, it was by itself, so I can edit it out from pictures and scans, but unfortunately it will be forever on the actual page. Probably I can find some I guess since the page is white, I can find some white liner or something like that to mask it, but it might not match the actual off-white of the page. Anyway, that was the most annoying part of the drawing, and the fact that maybe I jumped a little bit too early with that border. We'll try better next time. So for the ink today, as you probably see me at the beginning of the writing sample, it's still Monteverde ink. I stayed with the brand, not for specific reasons, but because I do like the ink and I thought it might be a good fit on the pen. So it is the Monteverde Black Ash. Surprisingly, I just noticed that I'm actually half past the level in the bottle for ink, and makes me curious because I don't think I use that as much. And I'm wondering if by any chance I didn't cap the bottle properly, or is not sealing the cap properly, and maybe some water evaporated. I don't see it more concentrated than what I remember, but it feels odd that I have less ink than I thought I had. Not a big deal. I'll use it as is, and I'll pay attention to it to make sure it doesn't evaporate. Otherwise, if that happens to you, for example, and you have more concentrated ink than you need to, you can always use distilled water. Just make sure you remember to leave a mark on the bottle where the ink level is at, so next time you come around and you look at it, you make sure it's at the same level. Otherwise, if it's a little bit lower, just refill it with distilled water up to the level where you were supposed to be. And again, do that only if you start noticing that maybe the ink in your bottles are evaporating, that will give you a chance to prolong the life of the ink you have and keep the consistency of the ink you have. Anyway, not much else to say, or at least I'm not sure what else to say other than ramble and ramble without much of a thought. So beautiful fountain pen, I like it. I don't find it that expensive considering that it came with an ink bottle. I purchased it, I believe, around 80 Canadian dollars from Amazon with shipping and everything, which anyway, it was free. So considering that usually a bottle like this from Monteverde, it's anywhere between $20 to $40 depending on the seller and the ink rarity and quality, I guess. The fountain pen in itself, not that bad of a price from my perspective, at least not from Canadian dollars perspective. Love it. I'm happy I have it. I really like it. I wish I would have had more purple in it, to be honest with you, but maybe that would have been an overkill. But I do like it. Fun fountain pen. If you get a chance to buy one, definitely get one. You can find them for a little bit cheaper if you don't get the special editions. I liked this color. There was another blue one that I liked, but I really wanted this one. And I think that OmniFlex nib suits it even better with the black trims that it has on it. Anyway, rambling again. I apologize. Beautiful fountain pen. I like it. The nib works amazingly well now after the nib setup that I did on it. No complaints in that regard. Drawing wise, no hiccups, no issues. Worked exactly how I wanted it to work. And yeah, it was a fun drawing for this week with an interesting result. Let's put it that way. Don't love it, don't hate it, could have done better. Hopefully next week, which I'll come up with a very interesting fountain pen that I purchased not by mistake, but after I purchased something else by mistake, and then I realized that those fountain pens exist. I just had to add one, and they're cute and fun, and I can't wait to actually use it for the first time. With that said, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you liked the drawing for today as much as you could have, and I hope you enjoy this fountain pen. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. And as usual, I hope I will see you again next week. Thank you for joining me. I wish you nothing but a wonderful day or night, wherever you are. Take care. Bye.